Well, the Aquarius heading for Marseille with 58 migrants on board, as we heard in that report there. Well, SOS Méditerranée, one of the charities that operates the Aquarius, confirmed that in the press conference yesterday, and they called on the French authorities to allow them to dock. But so far, French authorities have been reluctant to let that happen, saying that the boat should stop, should dock at the nearest, safest port instead. Well, SOS Méditerranée also tweeted yesterday evening, said that they were responding to a distress call off the Libyan coast and they were potentially moving to provide assistance there. But one thing is for sure, they are heading for Marseille, and of course they are calling on European governments to help, including MSF, Doctors Without Borders, the other charity that operates the Aquarius, saying that people are dying at Europe's doorstep, they tweeted, and they are demanding that European governments allow the Aquarius to continue its life-saving missions. Now, people are also calling on French President Emmanuel Macron to intervene, including Jean-Luc Mélenchon, who tweeted saying it is France's duty and honour to let the Aquarius dock in Marseille. Not everyone sharing that view. Marine Le Pen tweeted saying simply no and no to that prospect. So once again, we're seeing the Aquarius stranded with potentially nowhere to go. Now, somebody who knows all about this, who spent 10 days on board the Aquarius in June, is Annelise. Annelise, tell us about your experience on board the Aquarius, because you spent 10 days on it in June. Tell us what.
Yeah, well, my experience was infinitely easier than that of the people on board. I mean, I have 2 passports. I knew exactly where I was going to go, what was going to happen to me. That was not the case for the 630 people on board, who were at times extremely tense, extremely worried about where they were going to end up, what kind of life was going to be waiting for them, and obviously who were very afraid about being brought back to Libya when Aquarius was stranded for over 48 hours, literally stranded without moving, stuck in the same spot. A lot of people started asking what was going to happen, where are we going to go, are you guys sending us back to Libya? And I remember very clearly this one man who threatened to throw himself out of the boat. He said, I would rather die here than going back to Libya and going back to the torture and the abuses that I suffered there. So it was very tense for those people who had been rescued at sea.
And what about what happens now, Annelise? Because the French are very reluctant to let them dock. I mean, what other options do they have?
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because even though when Spain resolved that standoff back in June, allowing the Aquarius to dock there, it sent a very strong message of solidarity to Europe, saying, look, we need to help those people who are risking everything. They are desperate people and they need help, at least this immediate help. We will then have to find a more permanent solution, but now we need to save these lives. But now it seems that the stronger message, or at least the message that is echoing across European countries, is not that of solidarity. It's more one of we need to protect our borders, we need to protect our economy, as if those people would indeed contribute to economic ruin across the EU. So it's hard to say, because indeed there are many people, and we're seeing here in France as well with Marine Le Pen and across Europe, that don't want these rescue operations to continue. So they are, there is now a big question as to whether or not MSF and SOS Méditerranée will be allowed to continue rescuing people in the Mediterranean. And if they don't, then who will help these people?
That's